Hello and welcome to Middlesex Moments, the radio program from Middlesex Community College in Middletown, Meriden, and online. I'm Dr. Steve Minkler, the Academic Dean and Campus Administrator for Middlesex Community College. And today I'm joined by Patrice Barrett, who is the coordinator of the SNAP Education and Training Program here at Middlesex. And Patrice, just tell us quickly, what's the SNAP Education and Training Program?
Thank you for having me, Dr. Minkler. The SNAP Education and Training Program is actually funded by the food stamp bill. SNAP was formerly known as food stamp, and it comes out of the federal budget under the Department of Agriculture. They award block grants to the states that choose to participate. Connecticut's one of them. It goes to our Department of Social Services, and then the Department of Social Services allots money to community partners, community colleges being one of those partners. We offer career courses in our continuing education department that allow people to acquire employment skills who are SNAP recipients when they're beginning to take the course. And it's an understanding that those who take the career courses will in fact go into the job market, making a wage that will therefore improve the overall economic security of their household, and they will perhaps move on to other courses, take additional steps in their career. It's a new program. Only the state of Washington is doing it, besides Connecticut. We're the second state to get on board. So the whole nation's new at this to see what really becomes of it.
So the general idea, it seems, would be that we give assistance to people while they need it, but also give them a hand to improving their chances of having a sustainable job that can benefit them and their families.
Yeah, the Department of Agriculture actually refers to this program and the funds that we give a recipient as a scholarship. It's money given to them for the entire cost of the course and any supplies that are needed to complete the course. So it's given in the form of a scholarship, no repayments needed, and hopefully the student will be successful.
Okay. Now you began at the college this past February, and what were you doing before coming to Middlesex?
My background actually is in public health. I have a master's in public health, and prior to taking this job, I was working for the city of Middletown on a brownfield redevelopment grant. And it did not get its second cycle of funding, so I found myself back in the job market, and this position showed up. I interviewed for it. The funny thing about public health is you take portable skills with you from one position to another, and you're able to apply them regardless of what the subject area is. You can help with the outcomes to be successful.
Okay. And you taught school prior to this, sometime in your past?
If story be known, I actually got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree when I was in my 40s. I just completed my master's degree in 2012, and prior to going back to college in 2001, I taught high school.
Okay. And here you are at the college now helping us with this really innovative program that we're only the second state to have implemented for the SNAP program, which SNAP, by the way, is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program administered by the federal government to give people that food assistance and now education assistance. So we'll explore this a little bit more with Patrice Barrett here at Middlesex Community College after this quick break. Welcome back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. This is Steve Minkler, the Academic Dean and Campus Administrator, and I'm here with Patrice Barrett, who coordinates our SNAP Education and Training Program. And of course, SNAP is short for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, run by the federal government in collaboration with the states in the United States. So Patrice was explaining before the break that this program offers students a scholarship into a number of the college's career-oriented programs. And what are some of the programs that are available to a SNAP recipient through this program?
This past spring, we had a total of 11 students enroll into non-credit courses that covered Certified Nursing Assistant, or CNA as most people know it, and we offer those in 3 locations. We had them in Meriden, Middletown, and on our shoreline in Old Saybrook. We also had a Phlebotomy Certification course. We had a Pharmacy Technician course, and we offered Veterinary Assistant as well. So we had a total of 11 students this past spring enrolling in courses. We have 2 students who began in phlebotomy and CNA for our summer semester. And of course, we're always looking to enlarge the program.
Okay. And what have you heard from students so far who have taken these courses through the SNAP program?
I visit the classes usually near the end of the semester, both to get to know the students that I haven't personally met yet and to just see how the class is going. We've had some students who have thoroughly enjoyed taking the classes, have been very successful at them, and in fact it has sort of planted a seed for them in thinking about what else they want to do on their career track and taking additional classes. Most of our students find the pharmacy technician course to be very interesting. It's also quite demanding. You need to take a math placement test before you can get into it. But I found that students find it very interesting to learn about perhaps common drugs they've also taken themselves, and then much more sophisticated drugs, but all about the dispensing and the chemistry. I believe each week they're required to learn 10 drugs, the chemistry and all the information, which is pretty daunting. And most of our students did that very successfully.
Okay. Now, how many hours is a program like pharmacy tech and all that? I would imagine if you're learning all that kind of information that this must be a pretty substantial time commitment.
It is. Pharmacy tech is offered this spring semester, is offered during the days for 3 hours, 2 mornings a week, generally 8 or 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 12 noon. Pharmacy technician is offered in the evening, and it's been 6 to 9 p.m. for 2 evenings as well as a week. And your semester usually runs 10 or 11 weeks, so when you do the math on that, it's a very significant commitment to time, and you have to think about the studying that you do outside of class to go with that to be successful.
Sure. And how do students approach that? I mean, between balancing the study time, I'm sure many of them have family commitments and other things going on outside of the college. So I guess another way of asking the same question is, how do we make sure students are ready to succeed at this program, given all the demands on their lives?
We have discussions with students, and we ask them if they're certain they have this time to make this commitment. We often ask about childcare arrangements to be sure that's something they won't find themselves falling short if it's a parent that has care of children. We also ask about transportation arrangements. As I said, we have some of our classes outside of Middletown, so there can be difficulty in people getting to either our Meriden campus or to our Old Saybrook campus where we hold the classes there. And some of these courses also have clinical sites that students need to go to. So that's a consideration for most people.
Sure. Now, does the SNAP Education and Training Scholarship apply to just the tuition and fees for the courses, or does that cover other expenses that a student might have?
Just tuition and fees. It includes your textbook. We're looking at applying for additional monies a great little bit of time down the road to see if we can help out, for instance, with fees for certification exams and other expenses that might come along that are part of what it's required in taking a course.
Okay. And how does the person qualify for this? Obviously, you'd have to be receiving SNAP benefits that would seem to be the first qualification, but what are some other things that a person would need to do or to know in order to get this education benefit?
The simple qualification, of course, you said, is that someone needs to be receiving SNAP when they begin the course, and they must remain on the benefit the entire length of the course. Other simple requirements are to be a U.S. citizen, to have attained a high school diploma or a GED. With getting the SNAP benefit, the Connecticut Department of Social Services requires that you not be receiving any cash assistance from them. That SNAP is, you may have housing assistance and other things, but no cash assistance.
Okay. What are some of the ways that people could find out about the programs that we offer through the SNAP program?
Multiple ways. We've undertaken an outreach program where we've sent out a great deal of flyers and information sheets to many nonprofit entities, going all the way from Cromwell down to the shoreline, because when you think of the fact that Middlesex College takes in all of Middlesex County, so that's a large area. We think that caseworkers who are either have current SNAP recipients or enrolling those who are new as SNAP recipients are telling them about this opportunity to have education and training. It's by a word of mouth also, I have some opportunities to make presentations, for instance, down on the shoreline at the Shoreline Soup Kitchens, so that will reach more people. There are flyers hung in public libraries. Remember, we're new at this, so we're still thinking through all the outreach branches that we could investigate. Not quite certain what all of those are yet.
Right. Well, I know you've got some open houses coming up this summer that people can learn. Mm-hmm. When are those scheduled?
We have open houses coming. 2 of them are the last week of July. One is July 20th. One is July 26th. The last one is on August 1st. And they are arranged. There's one being given in the morning, if that perhaps suits your schedule better. There's one in the late afternoon, and we have one in the evening. So we're hoping to be able to accommodate anyone's schedule who might be caring for children, family members, or have difficulty with transportation. We want to make it easy for them.
Okay. And they could find some more information out about these through the Middlesex Community College website or by calling your office?
Yes, they could do that. All of this information is under our continuing education part of the Middlesex Community College website. Mm-hmm. It's out in the summer continuing education brochure, actually, and it will be coming out very soon in the fall continuing education brochure.
Okay. Yeah, and the website is mxcc.edu/CE, gets you to continuing education. Right. So again, this is Steve Minkler at Middlesex Community College here with Patrice Barrett, who is our SNAP Education and Training Program Coordinator. And as you said, we're pretty new to this program, one of a couple of colleges in the state that are offering this program. What do you envision for some ways of expanding our offerings or expanding the numbers of students who would be eligible to take advantage of this?
We're always looking at what our other community college peers are doing in the state, because I believe out of the 13 community colleges, 7 or 8 of them are doing this program. We're actually the last one to begin this when we began in February. So in looking at what our peers are doing and thinking about how to grow the program, we're looking at adding some certificate programs to what we offer and be able to fund. And we're beginning to look at perhaps an associate's program that we could offer. That becomes a little tricky because we have been told that we should make those decisions based on what the labor market commands in our area. So that's what we've been trying to pay close attention to be certain. Of course, the ultimate success in this is to complete the course, do well in it, and then be able to go out and get a job in the job market. So our first priority is to educate and offer courses to people where they will then be able to go out and successfully find a job in the market in greater Middlesex County. So we're looking at those things now.
Sure. And a number of the programs that you mentioned that we offer through the SNAP Education and Training Scholarship are non-credit programs, which are typically shorter in length in terms of the number of weeks or months of the program, that also usually they're not eligible for traditional college financial aid. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is a way of giving students a form of financial aid to get them kind of jump-started into a possible career for themselves.
Yes, it will require some learning and planning for us in this program, because if we were to move to a certificate program, say in manufacturing or an associate's degree in accounting, we would then have to look at students who are coming through your more traditional admissions route, through your enrollment services, and then ask them to complete a FAFSA and look at what other forms of financial aid are available to them. And then if there's any differences in that funding, we perhaps would be able to give them money to make up that difference. Just like we're paying for the full cost of the continuing education courses, we'd be able to give money toward a lengthier program.
Right. Yeah, so it would kind of fill in that final gap of
Yes.
funding if they didn't have enough traditional financial aid to cover the cost of their program.
Yep.
Okay. Well, after a short break, we'll be back with more about the SNAP Education and Training Program. This is Stephen Minkler with Patrice Barrett here from Middlesex Community College on the Middlesex Moments radio program. Welcome back to Middlesex Moments, the radio show from Middlesex Community College. I'm Dr. Steve Minkler, the Academic Dean and Campus Administrator, here today with Patrice Barrett, who is coordinator of the SNAP Education and Training Program at the college. Before the break, we were talking about the different courses that a SNAP recipient could have available to them using these benefits, and we talked about several of them. Most of them seem to be in the allied health area. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
They are.
And they include things like CNA,
Phlebotomy, pharmacy technician. We have some closely aligned to that. We're going to be offering human services assistant in early childhood education, which, while not in the health area, fall into much of the same sort of area.
Like a human services
Yes.
type of feel
Yes.
to this, so people who may naturally want to help other people could be drawn to any of these programs.
Caring for children, caring for adults, they all have that in common.
Okay. Now, some of the programs that we've talked about, CNA and phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, and vet tech, security officer, are what we call non-credit. They can easily position somebody for a job, but don't necessarily allow a student to take those courses and use them to get a degree from the college. But human services and early childhood education are credited degree programs. And maybe what's the kind of the different feel for a student if they go from non-credit to credit?
We're hoping that taking that first course in early childhood education and human services might lead someone to a further career path. We talked a little bit before the break about offering perhaps certificate programs or associate programs, and we talked a little bit about the financial aid process behind that. We can also help people who want to have stackable courses that may not have the time to take or may not have the desire to take an entire certificate program, but for instance may want to take the CNA course, like it very much, and may want to move on to patient care technician. Not exactly a certificate program, but something they can use stackable credentials with.
Yeah, and I think some of this maybe for our listeners is, we get so used to talking in these terms that it's probably worth explaining just quickly that, a course that is non-credit simply means that it does not lead to a degree. If you think of going to college to get an associate degree or a bachelor's degree, master's degree, those courses don't count toward that, although they certainly count toward training because you're learning all sorts of things in the classroom. And we talked about some of that earlier. And it does certainly count toward a credential that can get you a job.
Yes.
But a credit course is one that the college recognizes as being a building block toward a degree, and that those credits can transfer if you go from, say, Middlesex Community College to Capital Community College or Central Connecticut State University or wherever. So I guess you've met a number of the students who've come through the SNAP Education and Training Program. How many of them are familiar with this? How many of them have been to college before?
You need to remember, I've only been here doing this program about 3 months now, so I've met a fair amount of students, perhaps 15 to 25, which include the 11 and the 2 that we have had in classes in the spring and now. I have not met many who have a college degree or even have begun work toward a college degree. Many often say that they're uncertain whether they'll like to pursue something like that. Some say they've raised children, and I remember one woman saying to me, okay, my youngest is 13 now, it's time for me to go out and go to school and learn for myself after all of my kids have gone through school. So there's a variety of reasons about why people are coming to this point in their life right now. And as I said when we were talking earlier, we have a great deal of hope in thinking that perhaps someone will take this first non-credit course, as we say it is, and think this is something I'm truly interested in. I'd like to further my education.
And they might find that this is something that they're good at, too.
Yes, people find that. When I've been talking to our students, I would have to say the overwhelming reaction has been, I'm good at this, and I really enjoyed it. I think all of our students have enjoyed what they've done in our courses.
And they might not have had that opportunity before for whatever reason.
No.
Life throws up an obstacle in your way, and this is something that is meant to kind of push through that.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, it sounds like this program, in terms of SNAP being the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, is first and foremost a way to give people assistance for their basic need for food, but also give them a chance at getting some training that allows them to sustain their families and themselves.
And when you think about being in an employment environment, because most of our students who take these classes also go out to clinical sites, that are part of their education during this 10 or 12 weeks. And very often we hear when we talk to them that they like being out in the employment atmosphere. They meet new friends, they get to do new things, and it opens up a great deal of opportunity and doors for them.
Sure. So I'm sure some listeners are wondering how they might qualify to take advantage of this special scholarship program. And so what are the basic qualifications to be able to get the SNAP Education and Training Scholarship?
The basics are to be a U.S. citizen, be receiving SNAP funding from the Connecticut Department of DSS when you begin the class and the entire length of the class. You need to have a GED or a high school diploma. Unfortunately, most of the classes we're enrolling people in require that you not have a criminal background or a felony conviction, because the clinical sites that you will go to or the employment training sites you will go to, like any employee they hire, will do a background check on you, and you may be subjected to a drug screen. So unfortunately, that's a precluding factor from many of the classes that we have.
Okay. But as you said, if we open up the possibility for some other programs to be added to this, there could be other career-oriented programs that the marketplace wants, that there are employers who do need new employees that may not necessarily have that restriction. So it's hopeful in the future that we'll have a few more academic courses that a SNAP recipient could take.
Yes.
And how, I know you've got some open house dates coming up, and we have parts of a website, so in order for somebody to get more information, they would visit our website, mxcc.edu/CE for continuing education. And those open house dates, again, are?
We have open house dates the last week of July, on July 20th, which happens to be, that's a morning session. We have July 26th in the early afternoon, and we have August 1st in the evening from 5:30 to 7, in the hopes of accommodating a wide variety of people who may have different kinds of schedules and demands on their lives, and will find a convenient time to stop in. At that time, we'll talk about placement tests you might need to take. For instance, in pharmacy tech, you need to take a math placement test because you do a great deal of math work in that course. There's a few courses like Human Services Assistant. You will be writing papers and essays, so you need to take our English placement test. So during those information sessions, we'll tell you all about that. We'll have an application for you to complete, and you can start on your way.
Okay. And I think the good thing, too, is with the English and math placement tests is that we also offer free workshops to get people back up to speed in their English and math skills. If they haven't been to school for a while, like I forgot all the trigonometry I ever learned. Not that I would need it in some of these fields, but Middlesex Community College does offer free workshops in those areas that people could take advantage of, which is good for them to know too. And these open houses are on our campus, 100 Training Hill Road in Middletown. And is there a way for people to apply for this online, or do they have to come in person to actually know more about the process?
You need to come in person because the federal and state governments require that we see picture identification, that we see your proof of receiving benefits, which is usually an electronic debit card, and we also need to see proof of your Social Security number because these are federal monies that are being used. So not something you can do online.
Okay. So if a person comes in and learns everything they want to learn and can apply to the college, these courses that we offer they start up in the fall and they kind of start at different times of the year. Is that how this works?
Yes, the courses that are being offered in the fall will all sort of begin on a traditional basis, like the usual semester. They're beginning the first week of September, and some begin a little bit into September, about mid-September, and remember that they will run until the beginning of December for some of them.
Right. So it is a time commitment
Yes.
that people need to be aware of. And if someone comes in and maybe they can't quite start it this fall, then we're going to be offering the same set of courses again in the spring.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that's, I guess, a nice reminder to our listeners that we do have summer classes now running at Middlesex Community College with registration for the fall semester ongoing throughout the summer. So please stop in and see Patrice during one of our open houses if you're interested in the SNAP Education and Training Scholarship Program. And I want to thank Patrice for joining us today on Middlesex Moments. Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. And a reminder, yes, we have registration happening for the fall semester ongoing. Fall classes on the credit side begin August 25th. Summer classes are ongoing throughout the summer with a wide variety of offerings. Many of them are online because Middlesex Community College has several ways that you can take courses. Certainly at our Middletown campus, 100 Training Hill Road. Online courses which are offered anywhere in the world. If you can log in to the internet, you can log into your course. And our new center in the city of Meriden. We used to be in downtown Meriden, and as of the fall, we are moving to Platt High School. So we will be offering a number of courses through what we are now calling MxCC at Platt. So we don't have any dates as of the airing of this radio show, but we will have some dates for registration and an open house at MxCC at Platt later this summer, hopefully middle of August and the latter part of August, so you can visit actually a completely renovated high school. The city of Meriden, the folks in the school and in the education department have been very welcoming to us and are very excited to start this new partnership to offer Middlesex Community College courses in the city of Meriden. And for longtime listeners, you may have recognized a different voice coming through with the Middlesex Moments radio show. And yes, it's yours truly, Steve Minkler, the academic dean, who is taking over the radio show after the departure of Dr. Anna Wasesha, who was president of the college from 2011 until June 1st, 2017. The college is so grateful for everything that Dr. Wasesha has done for Middlesex Community College, for the people who live in our area, for the community agencies and businesses that are our partners in ensuring that people in Middlesex County and beyond get the education that they need and deserve. And we wish Dr. Wasesha all the best in her new endeavors as she moves back home to her home state of Minnesota. So you'll be hearing more from me as your new host of Middlesex Moments. So again, Dr. Steve Minkler, Academic Dean and Campus Administrator, on behalf of Middlesex Community College, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.